welcome to Northway. Henry George Ivat was the Chief Mechanical Engineer at the LMS from 1945 to 1948, and during that time he designed the locomotive that we're looking at. It's a 2MT with a 260 or mogul wheel arrangement, numbered 46446. Built in 1950 and operated until 1966. One of 128 such locomotives. George Ivat had been at the LMS a long time. He'd been an assistant to William Stanier. And during George's time as Chief Mechanical Engineer from 1945 to 48, his second in command was Robert Riddles. Well, in 1948, when British Railways was formed, Robert Riddles was promoted to Chief Mechanical Engineer of British Railways. But George Ivat stayed at the LMS in the role of Chief Mechanical Engineer, brackets, London Midland Region, close brackets. Ivat also designed a tank engine version of his 2MT. There were 130 of these built. Again, the one we're looking at was built in Crewe, 1950, and operated until 1966. When Robin Riddles took over at British Railways, 1948, he came up with his standardised locomotives plan. I think initially it was post-war austerity and we thought, you know, we got loads of coal, let's just get some more steam engines. We'll modernise later on. Which is actually kind of what happened. Anyway, in Riddle's plan, one of the locomotives he had in mind was a 2MT Prairie tank, and they became the 84,000 class. But they were pretty much like the Ivats. In fact, there weren't a whole lot of differences. Also, there was a 2MT 260, the 78,000 class. Very much like the Ivats, in fact, almost identical. They reduced the size of the cab to make it more universally, what's the word? It fitted more loading gauges, it could go more places. And there was a taller chimney, no dome, but basically it was the same locomotive. Here's another British Railways standard locomotive from the 76,000 class. The 260 4MT. So a bit bigger, a bit more powerful than the 260 2MT that we've just been looking at. This is the youngest of today's locomotives. This was built at Doncaster in 1956, operated until 1967. That was one of 115. You know, the poor standard locos, they got a raw deal, didn't they? Because not only did we have the 1955 modernisation programme, which was to get rid of steam, we also had Dr. Beeching cutting back on loads of railway lines anyway. So these locos didn't get many years of operation. Anyway, this model here, number 76069, splendidly modelled in B are black with red lining, with the lake crest, modelled by Bachmann. Very nice model, wouldn't you agree? Also a very nice model. This 7500, that's a 460 4MT, modelled by Hornby. And you have to admire the detail and the trouble they've gone to with this model. The one I've got here, number 75070, is weathered, but it's stunning in its detail, wouldn't you say? The original 75070 was built in Swindon in 1955, operated until 1966, and was fitted with a double chimney, as we can see there. That was probably about 1957 it got its double chimney. Well, these Locos, the 75,000s and the 76,000s, very versatile, very popular, were used on lower axle load lines where things like the Black 5s and the BR Standard 5 couldn't really go. Also there were tank engine equivalents too, but with a tender these ones had a longer range. And these are both modelled with the BR1 high-sided tender. Oh, we had standard tenders as well, by the way, in the British Railways standard Locos. Well, let's see some British Railways standard Locos running around.